Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another video. This time I'm going to talk about the author journey, or at least mine. Um, it's something that's unique to each author, but in trying to figure out what kind of content to put on YouTube, I just thought maybe people would be interested in how I came to be where I'm at right now. Please like, share, and comment. And in the comments, please put if there's any questions or content that you would like for me to share or talk about or anything like that. That'll help me know what interests you. I enjoy talking with readers. I enjoy talking to potential readers. I've even talked to when I do my little mini author event at the NAWCC clock shows in this region. I've even talked with people about other authors' books. And I find it very, I like it. I like talking with people. And which kind of surprised me because I consider myself as an introvert. But as time has gone on and through the author journey I'm going to kind of talk about, it's something that I've had to get out of my box, my introvert box. When I was asked by a coworker if I always wanted to write, I definitely remember when I was a kid, and I've shared this with some of my author bios, that I wrote some pieces when I was young. I wrote a Mother's Day essay that I won a prize, and that is really encouraging. And then all through the years, I remember hearing their English teachers. Like, I remember distinctly that, I can't remember what grade I was in. It might have been middle school. But, where we were doing work on a blackboard. Yes, a blackboard. Um, I'm dating myself. That she made the comment that I seemed to have an instinctual grasp, for um, words and sentences and that sort of thing. So, that kind of sticks in the back of your mind. And so then I had another English teacher when I was a senior in high school that every Friday she would have the class read. And I was working on a story at that time. It was a sci-fi story. It is not one of the ones I published. And I asked her, could I write instead of, read, so I could, work on the story. And so she let me, and that was encouraging too. And so when I remember writing everything out, and then people sitting around me, kind of looking, see what I was doing, and now that story I continued to work on in early college when I was in my pre-vet studies, and I had completed it, or at least I thought. See, we had no internet back then. Talking about aging myself again. So there's no way for me, and I didn't know who to ask. I didn't know how to go about getting my story out there, submitting it. I didn't know about query letters. I didn't know about formatting. I mean, I had a typewriter, and and trying to type out, a manuscript over and over and over again. That's what you had to do so you could get a clean copy. Otherwise, there was a lot of correctotype. You all probably don't know what that is. But it's anyway. It When the word processor came out, it was like a wonderful, wonderful thing. Anyway, sideline. But so I submitted it, handwritten, in a folder. Got a nice rejection letter. So anyway, I kind of put that away. My life was getting busy. And, I was applying for vet school. And then, of course, that's a very intense curriculum and, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of put writing aside for a while. But after graduation, after settling into a career, I started picking back up. About the time that I had my daughter back in 1993, I thought, I'm going to start a story. It's going to be a sci-fi fantasy blend that I'm going to try to break into writing. That's at that moment is when I thought, okay, I am going to try to become an author. 1993. Okay. Some of the people I was working with back then might remember that. So, anyway, so I started writing this story. I have some of the original handwritten type stuff, and where the story developed, the beginning changed several times, the names of the characters changed several times. Kind of reminds me of Tolkien's Silmarillion. That book, I love Tolkien. I love Tolkien. I love The Hobbit. I love The Lord of the Rings. I was excited when the movies came out. Peter Jackson did a wonderful job. And because there's so much content in the books, so in the way he presented it, it didn't have everything in it that's in the books, but I thought he did a very good job with that. I don't know if you can see behind me, I have the map from The Hobbit that was given to me one Christmas, I think. And so we have it up there. But anyway, we have some other Lord of the Rings and Hobbit stuff around the house. But the Silmarillion is one book I have tried several times to get through. But I can see how Tolkien was developing the world, and the name changes and everything. It's very confusing to me. So I'm still attempting to get through the book. And it's just one of those things that I can see had a lot of material there. But I really appreciate his work in building the fantasy worlds. I think it's awesome. But so my writing, it started off like that, and in the development, and I kind of wrote through it all through the years. Started having kids, young mother, was running a business, all that kind of stuff. I kind of put it aside again. Then it just hit me. Things were settling down, and things just hit me. I left my protagonist sitting in a field. Actually, they're standing there looking around. Now, it sounds weird. Maybe another author will understand what I'm talking about. But, and I have seen some memes, on like Facebook, where I think other author types know what I'm talking about, where your characters are just demanding attention. They want their story told. So I thought I better get back to that. And so I completed the story at least to that point. It was still one book, but it seemed to be too big. Here I was learning about word count. I was learning about, having how to present it, how to submit, and all that. But the internet had come out. Internet's an awesome, awesome source for, well, everything. But it really helped me when I started poking around, started learning about, like query letters, manuscript, submission, that sort of thing. So I started doing more research on that. I also had taken a course in writing children's stories through the Institute of Children's Literature. It was a correspondence course, and that also really helped me a lot in many ways, not just with children's stories, but in publishing in general. Now, at that time, you could contact the publisher, send them a query letter, see if they're interested, send your manuscript, that sort of thing. Times have changed. So by the time, when I was sending out query letters for Cloud Writers, I had one agent contact me back. She wasn't really interested in the story. It was probably a lousy query letter. And she made the comment that it was too long for a young adult. And that's kind of how I was presenting it. So I thought, I kind of thought so too. And I appreciated that, even though she was, didn't pick up my book or anything. That helped me. So I broke it up. It's a trilogy. I was able to add more detail to each book, kind of flesh out the story more. And then once I had it done, it's like, what am I going to do with it? Okay, I already tried to get an agent for this. And because by the time I was ready to try to get it out there, you had to go through an agent to get to the publishers. You could not send, query or send manuscripts directly to publishers. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do with this? So I started poking around the internet. Now, vanity publishing for a long time was really frowned upon. Okay. I had a friend who published a really great book through one of those publishers, but then there's no distribution channels. You had to do it yourself. And I remember with that happening to him. So when I was looking into, publishing, I thought, okay, I need to find something. Number one, that's not going to cost a lot because I didn't have any money. Our family was growing, and the expenses and stuff like that with that. So I thought, okay, what's out there? Especially with technology, the ebook, that sort of thing. So I found a platform. It's no longer in business now. It's called Book Tango. And you may still see some of my old books running around out there. You can tell by the covers and they were not well edited. I didn't have an editor at the time. I would proofread it where I thought it looked good. New authors, very important to find an editor you can afford because they can look good to you, but they have fresh eyes. Point. Okay. And the covers, very important. Cover is part of what people look for. That's part of what I look for. That and the blurb. So it's very important to have someone that understands covers, a graphic designer, if you can afford it. There are some, ways to do very nice looking covers out there. Canva.com is one of them. But make sure the cover looks good. Maybe ask people if you're going to do your own. Ask people, hey, what do you think about this? That sort of thing. Fortunately, I have a daughter who, back when I started my publishing journey, she was a baby, but she went through graphic design, program, and she helps me with my covers, a lot of them. There's a few that I still do on my own, and I'm going to announce this now. I am republishing Cat Hunters. It has a new cover, and it was done by a fantasy artist, Mitch Faust. I'm so excited about this. It was a true collaborative experience with him. There you go, authors. If you write fantasy and you're looking for somebody, look up Mitch Faust. So, in getting cloud writers out there, I used Book Tango. An ebook platform didn't cost me anything as long as I did my own cover, did my own, formatting, anything, stuff like that. And then they distributed it to many different distribution platforms. It was just an awesome service, especially for a new author. So I put cloud writers out there. Also, the devotional books I developed at the time, and a children's book. Well, the most attention was the children's book. And I sold several copies. And I found it interesting because it was a children's book. I had nobody to illustrate it. And so there's no illustrations. And it sold several copies. And that, it was encouraging. That my journey has been from point to point to point. First point was determining to go ahead and write. And instead of just writing and just putting it away, I got to a point where I needed to share. It's a big step. Okay, new authors, that's a huge step to get your work out there because it is something that it can be scary because you're like, is it good enough? Are people going to read it? What are they going to say? Are they going to lambaste me for this story, and tell me how horrible it is and everything? So you got to get past that. If you want it to go anywhere, if you want to share it with the world, you have to get past that. You have to take that first step. It's a huge step. And once you do that, that's great. Okay? Keep moving. All right? Just try to get it out there best way you can. If you want to go through an agent, go through the traditional publishing houses, there's nothing wrong with that. But I have been told recently, in the last several years, that publishing houses, the traditional publishing houses, are watching the independently published books. That stigma of vanity press, which there probably still is out there, has kind of dissipated when you're independently published. And there are third-party publishers to help you get your book out there with a professional cover. Some of them offer book trailers, which that is why I have gone. A few of them I've taken from Amazon or published directly through one of the third-party publishers, because I wanted the other things that I couldn't get done. And having a package was a lot cheaper than trying to find it individually. So Cloud Riders was on Book Tango, ebook only. And one day, a few years ago, I got a call at work, which was a surprise. I had no link that I knew of between my author persona, if you want to put it that way, and my professional, at work. So him finding me, that was quite a blessing. And the thing that he was looking for, because he wanted to represent Cloud Riders, one of the Cloud Riders, at a book fair, he needed a paperback book, and I didn't have it in paperback. I just had the ebook, and he couldn't understand how he got that. So I think I mentioned in one of my other videos that I had prayed that day because I was frustrated. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know if I should be moving forward with it and doing the author, type stuff. It's what I desired to do. That's what I wanted to do. And I was finally to the point of sharing, and then nothing. So I was like, okay, should I continue this? Should I do anything with it? And I prayed to God, and I said, okay, if you want me to continue this, somebody's got to call me about one of my books at work. Because as far as I knew, there was no connection. And he did. There was, I told him, well, I don't have it in paperback. He goes, I don't understand how I got this. It has to be in paperback. And I had been considering, because at that time, Amazon had started doing print-on-demand books where I could get my paperback done. So I started publishing on Amazon KDP. I put Cloud Riders on it, all three. I've got several devotional books on there. And that just kind of started things rolling. And then since then, I've had offer after offer after offer for different services. It's just that one point in time has helped me go from point to point to point in furthering my author journey. So now I've learned more things. I've had some agents along the way that have encouraged me to do videos, do podcasts, do stuff like that. At first I was very reluctant because, in my mind, an author, you go by your work. Okay, you get a story out there, people like it, okay, they enjoy it and all that. Well, people want to know about the authors. The author journey will continue. It's a constantly moving, morphing type of journey where you learn as you go. So there again, new authors, there's so much on the internet to check into, to look at. There are author groups that are awesome. They're very encouraging. That's ways to connect with, maybe an illustrator, somebody to get, a cover done, or internal illustration, editors, that sort of thing. You do have to be careful about, third-party publishers. Some are better than others. That's kind of a school of hard knocks experience. And so it's something that you can always, even if it's not a great experience, you can always learn something and move forward. So where is it going? Well, all I know is what I'm doing. Like I mentioned, I'm republishing with new cover art, Cat Hunters. I've got the Time Stealers. They're all out under new covers. Page Turner Press and Media, they republished the first Time Stealers. I got the third Time Stealers out, independently published. And I just recently got the new cover and republished the second Time Stealers. That just has been released about a month ago or so. So I'm needing to republish some of my children's stories, but I am working on Cloud Riders 4. That is one that I decided to kind of revisit and build off that world some more. I actually have the story written. It's in the proofreading stage, and you know the way I write, it's I kind of write the skeleton, and every time I go through, I kind of flesh it out more and more and more until it just seems complete. And then from there, the editing, and then I send it to my wonderful editor, and then from there, I publish. Time will tell, where my writing is going to go. In furthering more exposure to being a writer, not only doing like YouTube videos, I also have a TikTok account, Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn. I do have a website, authorpclaus.com, and I have started doing a blog. And just whatever I can think of doing, I try to share that on my website as well as on my LinkedIn account. I'm doing articles on LinkedIn, and hopefully sharing some thoughts that make other people kind of think, maybe some author experience stuff, stuff like that. But well, I would appreciate any content, any idea of content that people would like to see, any questions that you want me to answer, any subject you want me to kind of comment on, or anything like that. So I do appreciate you joining me on this video. I hope it's been informative, entertaining. So it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm available on social media. You can contact me through YouTube account if you have any questions or anything like that. So please like, share, comment, and thank you for watching. And I hope that you'll be joining me soon again on another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.